Get instant access to your winnings with Cashcard Plus, Paddy's brand new card, available to use at ATMs, online or in shops. TNCs apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.co.uk.
Hi there, Bruce Millington, Graham Rodway, Brendan Duke and Paddy Powers. Rob Catterson. We've looked at Saturday, now let's look at Sunday, where the spotlight is on Nace. Got a horse here who could be absolutely anything. Running in the 150 is going to be a very short price for the Lawless Hotel Novice Hurdle, a Grade 1, and this is a Grade 1 horse. Death Duty. How short is he, Rob?
Yeah, he's 4 to 7. He's been 4 to 7 pretty much all week. And I think they said earlier in the week he was definitely going to run. So we've seen, obviously, no major support for him. Augusta Kate's been the mover last night, obviously, when Connections made up their mind that it looked as though she was going to run. She's 100 to 30. Tarkagua also for Willie's a 10 to 1 chance. Blood Crazed Tigers 10s and it's 20s bar.
Some race, isn't it? Brendan, let's start with you.
Oh, very exciting race. I don't think he'll be as short as that, actually. I think you might get a similar scenario, as Rob was suggesting there, to this invitation only at Navan, when at least you knew Death Duty was running, and no one ever knows what Willie's doing. So Death Duty goes in the price that he's going to run, and then the other ones when they are confirmed, because it looks a deeper race than I thought it was initially going to be, Rob, would you say?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, so I don't think he'd be as short as 4 to 7. I mean, she's a good mare to give her £7. Tarkagua obviously bolted up latest on the last run. That's Willie. The Bellamy and Blood Crazed Tiger, eye-catching form figures. I don't think he'd be that short, but he wouldn't be one to oppose for me. He's just such a lovely horse. And his jump on the last day, he made 2 or 3 clumsy errors the previous run in Navan, but the last day he never missed a hurdle. And, OK, invitation only. I know there's a theory going around that it mightn't have run its race, but I don't think that horse at the Bromheads that was second as any mug, and he kicked it out of the way. Very exciting horse. I think he'll win.
Rob, do you have any appetite to take on the Jolly?
Only if he was around the even money mark. He probably won't be that big, but I suppose if he got close to, like, obviously the dream scenario is that they come for one of Willie's, and I suppose the obvious one that they're going to back is Augusta Kate with Ruby on board. Willie's thrown 2 daggers at Death Duty, but unless he was around the even money mark, you might look for something to finish second. Maybe Tarkagua. They backed him off the boards when he won at Punchestown. He's probably going to go out in front. They changed tactics at Punchestown, and he might give Death Duty most to do. But unless Death Duty was at around about the even money mark, what do you say?
Indeed. OK, at 120 we were hoping to see York Hill, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
Set off on the road to possibly the Racing Post Arc or something else. We still don't know what his target's going to be. I've got half a feeling he might end up in the Champion Hurdle still if something goes wrong with either Annie or Fahim, but obviously we're not going to find that out until much nearer the time.
No, I've news.
Oh, go on.
My most reliable source, well now, I mean, he has made mistakes, of course, because it's Willie Mullins we're dealing with here, but my most reliable source told me over Christmas that Annie Power, in a move that can only be likened to Michael Van Gerwen going back and winning the BDO, is going for the Mayor's Hurdle at Cheltenham. Can you believe this?
No, I can't. Really?
Okay, I hope you're right.
How reliable would your...
He's proven very accurate, given it's Willie Mullins, and it's impossible to know. He's proven more accurate than anyone else I know.
Goodness gracious. So what would the knock-on effect of that be? If we were to base an anti-post strategy around Annie Power going for the mares...
Well, you'd have to double it with Fahim for the champion.
Would you, though? Or would York Hill come back for the champion and Fahim go for the world?
Well, I think York Hill's going to go for the JLT. I think they're going to stick with Chase. I mean, he did jump very well in...
Definitely JLT, not Racing Post Arkle?
Well, I don't think they'll take on Min.
OK.
Anyway, that was a segue.
All right. It's one of the most interesting segues we've ever had on this podcast. I mean, if that is true, it'll be a jaw-dropper.
Yeah.
There's not really much point asking, Willie, is there? He's not going to say to us, that is absolutely the plan, yeah.
He might beat his own record of having the next shortest priced winner ever at the Cheltenham Festival. Surely last year, Duvan was probably the shortest price, certainly in the modern era. And if Annie Power was to run in the mares, what sort of price would we be looking at?
The only thing is she'll be taking on Apple's Jade, so she won't be that short.
Good point. Or would she scare Apple's Jade back into the Champion Hurdle? Who knows? Given that she's a spring filly, we think, don't we? Right, anyway, this 120, there's 4 runners. American Tom, Road to Respect, Sunplan and Stone Hard. Brendan, do you have a strong view on which one will pass the post in front?
I certainly do. I've had a few quid on this American Tom for the JLT. I think he's a really, really top horse. He jumped, he made one slight error on his chasing debut, but I was so impressed with his jumping in general. He's real rhythm, great technique. This is a decent race. I mean, Road to Respect has 2 sound efforts in Grade 1 company, some plan. I know the ground isn't ideal, but he might have beaten the President at Cheltenham, so it's a decent race, but I expect American Tom to win and win well.
What price Levy, Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, given there's 2 solid horses about him, but you can never get short enough about these Willie horses. I was actually having to think about this. I think he'd be odds on.
Yeah.
I know that seems. I don't. Oh, you thought he'd be odds on as well?
Well, it's the Willie factor, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I was thinking something like 4 to 5.
Righty ho. Let's have a look. Has anyone got anything else they want to contribute to the rest of the Nace, or indeed the cards in Britain, which are Fontwell Park and Chepstow on Sunday? G-Rod, have you had a little look, or are you all focused on the Saturday stuff?
There was one that I really fancied, Song Sa at Chepstow, but it didn't get declared. And I've not really had time to look at the Fontwell card, as much as I do like a trip down to Fontwell. It's my birthday on Sunday, actually.
Is it, mate?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
we'll come to the weekend in a minute, okay?
Okay.
But the big news is also Bathwick Tyres are sponsoring at Chepstow, so they must have outlets there as well. Anything else at Nace, chaps? We'll start with you, Rob Catterson.
Yeah, there was 2. Vico Blue in the first. It's trained by Henry de Bromma. There was 3rd behind that Silas Emery at Navan. The word is Silas Emery could be one of Willie's better novices, so he might be a price. And in the bumper, Robbie McNamara won the last bumper at Leopardstown over Christmas. And when he was obviously talking about the winner, he mentioned this Cosmos Moon, who runs in the first 4-year-old bumper of the year. Finney Maguire's on board in the Mr. Mulligan Silks as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Okay, Brendan?
No, I've got nothing else, I'm afraid.
Nothing else to add. Okay, well, let's look at the weekend plans. And G-Rod, big news. First of all, Rob, how old do you reckon G-Rod's going to be? Have you ever seen him?
Just pictures, really.
Okay, well, based on that, how old do you reckon
And they
he'll
were probably
be?
taken 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, I'd say he's...
Yeah, we've all got old picture bylines, haven't we?
Yeah, I'd say he's probably in the Paul Keeley era, so he's late 40s.
What? That's absolutely outrageous. You think Graham Rodway's the same age as Paul Keeley?
Oh dear.
Well, I mean, quite apart from anything else, you think Paul Keeley's in the late 40s.
I was trying to be kind.
The irony there is you are absolutely right, but most people think he's in the late 50s. I think Paul's 47. So you've got G-Rod in at 47. Well, look, if this was an over-under, I think there's a 1 to 33 shot waiting for you, Brendan. Come on, what are you going to go, over or under, G-Rod?
Oh, I'd definitely go under. I mean, if you were basing it on hair, you'd say the man is 20. A magnificent head of hair that the G-Rod has on him. But I suppose he hasn't reached his position in the Racing Post without a bit of work. So I'm going to say 34.
That's not bad. That's bang on,
It's
isn't
absolutely
it?
bang on.
So is that how old you are? Or are you currently double carpet, Graham?
Yeah, currently double carpet, yeah.
You're going to be 34
on Sunday.
that's
Well, him, Brendan, you found your new
Absolutely.
vocation in life.
Yeah.
Never mind tipping
Fantastic.
horses, tipping people's age. So what's lined up for the birthday then, Graham?
Well, yeah, not much, I don't think. Yeah.
That means Mrs. Rodway's got a surprise planned, I think.
Well, you know, with Sandown and Fontwell both within range, you know, I would quite like a racing weekend, but you know, the missus is never gonna get past her on the birthday weekend. So I hope that she's got something really exciting planned instead.
Really?
But I've got no idea.
And what sort of budget would she spend for your presents, do you think? What would What would they be
It's
worth?
probably like a pair of socks or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
you don't go mad, no?
No, we're not big present buyers between each other. But we you know, that died out years ago.
Yeah,
sadly.
there's no point, is there?
No, it's
Got
just
everything you need, haven't you?
yeah. You know, she knows what I like.
So you're not sure what you're doing Sunday. Saturday, have you got any plans?
No, I think that she is planning something. Oh, I hope so.
I think it could be a surprise party round at Chateau Rodway.
I
That's
hope
what it
not.
sounds
I
like.
really hope not. Yeah.
Now, Brendan, a lot of people will be hanging on for this particular moment to find out if there's any developments in the old love life.
Well, there have been some developments, Bruce. There's some good news and some bad news. So which would you like first?
We'll have the good news.
Well, the good news is I have a date tomorrow.
Oh, excellent. And
Yeah.
what's the news? What's the form guide? What's the profile picture look like?
Oh, this is the problem, actually. She's probably a bit too good looking. I go weak in the presence of beauty. And I think this guy, I met Rachel Riley once and I nearly hyperventilated. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to cope. She's a very good looking girl.
Is she?
Yeah, I'm more of a girl next door kind of, you know. But
Are you
but
not
still,
suspicious of some of these profile pictures, though? Or have you actually met her?
No, I haven't met her. I didn't think of that. I'm quite a trusting soul, actually. This is another thing I have to worry about. Thanks for that.
Well, they never quite live up to reality, from what I'm told. I remember the Christmas episode of The Office where David Brent has that date, and he's extremely dismayed when she actually turns up. But you've got high hopes for this one, have you?
Yes. Well, she's a chef.
Is she?
I am a keen eater. So we're a match made in heaven, aren't we?
It puts a bit of pressure on in terms of venue, though, doesn't it? You can't really scrimp on that one, can you?
No, I'm taking her to Beef and Lobster. It's a place in town, and it's
what sort of food is that?
Well, this is it. It's a very interesting concept. There are only 5 things on the menu: 2 beef, 2 lobster, and a surf and turf. Because choice is a paradox. People don't want choice.
Of course, you're absolutely right there, mate. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take her there.
And in terms of budget, would that be one of the higher end ones in Dub?
I didn't actually check on the price, but I'd say so because of its location, Parliament Street. The rents be pretty steep there. Like they'd have to charge for.
Okay, and which cologne will you wear? How many bottles of cologne do you have to choose from when you're going out on one of these dates?
I have about 10 due to various Christmases, but I don't wear cologne.
You don't?
No.
I reckon you should. Because you got 10 bottles and they're just sitting there doing nothing, but it can't do any harm.
Go on.
Well, I'd have a little thing. I'd give yourself a squirt of cologne. We'll see how you get on because you're back on quite soon. So that's tomorrow night, isn't it? Oh, what's the bad news? Hang on.
Well, I respect you as a dating coach. Okay, I'll try a bit of cologne. Oh, the bad news is, well, a couple of young ladies knocked on my door recently, and some of my best dreams have started that way. So I answered them anyway, and one of them was an absolute 10, an American. Delph like Donny Osmond, this girl. But turns out they wanted to talk to me about God. Oh. Yeah, now for a brief second I thought this was to do with Tiger's comeback, but no, it was actually to do with, God, the big guy upstairs. So that was a bit disappointing.
Short shrift, or did you go with it for a bit just to see if it might develop?
She was so beautiful. I had a quick hyperventilate, and then I said, "Oh no, you're wasting your time here." And then she flashed me a smile.
Maybe this is new tactics from these guys, though. Usually when these guys come around banging on about God at my flat, it's some old guy who's like 50, and he slammed the door straight in their face. But I mean, if it's a couple of beautiful women, you might give them maybe a little bit longer than you would.
But you're still low. I mean, it's very difficult to deal with the zealous Graham. Like the third date conversation is very tricky there, isn't it?
Did you let her thrust the pamphlet into your hand at least? Or were they not proffering pamphlets?
No, she hadn't got to the pamphlet stage. I just told her she was wasting her time. I didn't want to. We had a moment, and then she moved on.
Oh, well. I don't necessarily call that bad news. I think that's all right. Yeah. Will you be taking him racing at all this weekend?
Yes, I'm going to Naas on Sunday. Go and see Death Duty. Quite the specimen he is too. It'll do my heart good to have a look at him.
Excellent stuff. And Rob, what about you? What have you got lined up for this weekend?
Yeah, pretty boring compared to what Brendan has. Just back from Spurs beating Chelsea, so I'll be in the office all weekend. And
you're a Spurs fan, are you?
Yeah.
And you flew over just for that game?
Went over Wednesday morning, myself, my dad and my sister stayed over, and then came back last night, so it was good.
Oh, class.
Got the result. Yeah, got the result, yeah.
I think they can win the league. I think they're value.
We need to buy, I think, in this window, we need to buy someone big.
Well, you can do. That's possible. OK, chaps, excellent stuff. Thank you very much indeed for your input. We are back on Monday to review the racing, and then we're also back next Friday looking ahead to what have we got on the weekend after next? Is that Warwick meeting? Is it No, I think it's Warwick, isn't it, for sure? But anyway, we will have a star cast lined up for that, so do please join us then.
The Racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They stream all UK and Irish racing live on your mobile